Hey. Guys, welcome to my channel. This is a story of what if Sasuke regrets his decisions and want to make atonement for his sin. Don't forget to like and subscribe to this channel, it will surely help me, and also it will notify you on my upcoming videos, and check the description for the creator of this great fanfic. Thank you. Now let's start the story. Chapter 15. Senju. Last Senju on the road, Sasuke finally stopped as he decided, finally, that maybe he should come clean with Naruto. He excused themselves and told them to go ahead as he carried his struggling girlfriend to the woods. As he put her down, he sighed in contemplations. If he kills Orochimaru, Otogakure will follow, and she might. He decided to tell her the entire truth. He was cut from his musings as he was now tangled in some golden hair. Oi, Uzuratonkachi-chan, what are you doing now? Sasuke found himself completely ensnared in her hair. He felt himself vulnerable and totally under her mercy. The girl gave him a white-teeth grin, showing 4 sharp canines. The Uzumaki then approached the now blushing and panicking Uchiha. You see, Sasuke-kun, now you're mine to do anything I want with. She said in a sultry tone as she traced her finger on his left cheek. So, I decided to know the truth that you are hiding from me. Now she traced his right cheek with the same finger. So, if you tell me the truth, I will do anything you want. She lifted his chin and she gave him a seductive smile. Nyt-ing fo are you, Sasuke-kun. Her tone sent shivers down his spine. He was so tempted to tell her. If you know that, will you handle it? He asked calmly, despite the fact that he was practically melting on the inside. I promise. She replied with a bright smile. Naruto, do you trust me? Do you love me? I'm afraid that you might very well change your mind, but if you date anyone else. He begun only for her to kiss him, her hands alternating in stroking his hair and cheeks. As soon as they parted, he felt like he melted down like butter on a summer day sun. Teehee, does that answer your questions? He nodded dumbly as she undid his binding. Also, you better improve if you want me to kiss you more. Fine then. Look into my eyes. Genjutsu. Sharingan. Sasuke replied, and she saw everything. Him defecting, her chasing him, her feeling betrayed, him secluding himself as he regretted not going back, him fighting her under that bridge, them fighting together, then him fighting her after that, him wandering, then saving her from a kidnapper before he killed him, then him declaring his undying love, her. Well, being pregnant, then her dying in her arms, him and Kakashi becoming a pair of broken men, him deciding to sacrifice his life in order to get her back. All that made her realize something. Naruto, I understand if you want to break up with me now. I don't blame you one bit. But know that I will always love you, no matter what. Sasuke replied as she remained silent. I just couldn't tell you before. Sasuke, you saw these memories of your future self. Naruto asked the Uchiha, who nodded forlornly. She felt her tears stinging. You carried this burden for so long, why? Because I rather die than hurting the only person that matters in my life. Sasuke replied seldomly. He didn't realize that she felt everything he felt when he showed her his memories of his future self. However, he was surprised when she tackled him down and kissed the life out of him. You stupid bastard. What were you thinking being so? Why? Why do you think that I would break up with someone who loves me this much? I'm ashamed that I can't love you as much as you do, and yet you showed me that you love me more than you showed. Why are you such a selfless bastard? Why? Why did you have to suffer alone? I swear that I will never let anyone else have you. Naruto finally decided to embrace his feelings. Kurama meanwhile was booming with laughter. Oh, these two were so adorable. Naruto, thank you. Sasuke muttered. I was afraid that you will think differently. But I guess that I am stuck with you forever. Of course you're stuck with me. Like hell I'd let someone like you go away from me. Naruto replied seriously as he shook his head. Well, fuck freedom if you have a true soulmate. So, now what? We try to compete who wins in love. Loser submits. Sasuke asked, and she laughed at him. Don't worry, Teminata, I will treat you well if you submit to me. No, I will make it up to you. Naruto replied slyly as he sighed. Despite his 8 years of experience, she was the mature one. Hey, I will not lose. He replied seriously. But if you submit to me, I will always be spoiling you rotten. Hey, well, it's so on. She promised as he smirked. Let's join the others. He replied seriously. Until we find the snake, we can have some fun. Besides, I have about 3 days. He replied seriously and she grinned at him. So, never told me, Sasuke-kun, what do you want as a birthday present? She asked and he raised an eyebrow. A kiss from you. He replied seriously as she shook her head. Look, any moment with you is enough. He confessed as she gave him a sad look. Because of my death. She asked only for him to glare at her. Look, I understand that. No. I did everything I could to prevent it. Matter of fact. There's one more thing to do. Eliminate my competition once and for all. Sasuke replied coldly only for Naruto to panic at that. Oi, stop being a possessive, terrifying, jealous, insane bastard. She chided him as he sighed. Love makes you crazy. He replied before he shunshined away with her to the rest of the team. He also ate a chakra pill just for the fun of it. Yo, Ero Senin, Suigetsu ni, Jugo ni and Karen ne. Naruto greeted. Greetings. Sasuke did the same. However, they noticed how their look changed. Something happened. Jiraiya asked. Sasuke was about to reply when Naruto giggled. Yeah, what day are we now? She asked and they replied by July the 20th. Oi, I don't want to celebrate my birthday. Like, it's just another year in life, so what? I got my most precious person back, and that's more than enough for me. The Uchiha replied. You don't even have the monetary fund for any of that bull. Let's just say that you being with me is more than enough for a guy like me. Before he could say anything else, he was embarrassed by 4 people in a group hug. Sasuke, thanks. Karen talked first and he smiled warmly. God, his team is the best. Well, I own you a present. Jugo started. And a cake, and some glitter. And something else that our dear young sister will give. Suigetsu replied as Naruto blushed. The last one is more than enough. Sasuke replied as Naruto then remembered something. So, that Chikuto was definitely a chakra blade, and was about a meter long. Naruto asked her boyfriend who gave her a cocked eyebrow. Don't worry, I won't buy it or anything. I don't believe that. He replied and she giggled. Only a shirt that you will love. She replied and he gave her a grateful look. How can you afford? Jiraiya started only for Sasuke to say one word. Susanoo. At that, a beaked 4-armed giant was formed with a purple chakra. Got the message loud and clear. Jiraiya replied. Damn, it was like a young Madara was with him. You will give her some money, whenever she wants, to buy whatever she wants. Will you not, Jiraiya Taicho? Sasuke asked as the team smirked at the sight of an S-rank being terrified by an almost 13 years old. As the Toad Sage nodded, Sasuke sighed in frustration. I'm still too weak. The Uchiha muttered. But Sasuke-kun, you're probably the strongest in the village. Naruto replied as he sighed dejectedly. Stop having such a low self-esteem for once. She scolded as he sighed. I admit, that even until now, I have no reason for dragging you down, but it felt so wrong to leave you with someone else. Sasuke replied sadly, I don't even know what made you love me. You being you. That possessive, kind, sweet, overprotective, wise and funny guy that I know and love. Also, your love was just. I can't begin to describe how it made me feel someone special to you. Naruto replied. So, what made you love me? Hey, you don't care about anyone's opinion about your life, you are strong by hardworking, you don't pester me like them, like you respect my personal space, you're cute, like short and cute, kind, generous, forgiving, sweet, innocent, and an amazing person to be with, you never judge people based on rumors nor misconceptions. I know. You're the most amazing girl that I will ever meet. Also, if you meet Tsunade, please don't attack her. You can listen to her and have a I dunno, mother-daughter kind of talk. Sasuke asked as she shook her head. Look, it's me who might not be deserving you, I'm mean to you sometimes. She asked as he laughed heartedly. Well, I push your buttons all the times, because it's funny. Sasuke replied, Shorty. I'll show you short you no good tem. She replied as she punched him hardly on the shoulder. He rubbed the bruising appendage before tried to move it. God, you hit hard. I never said that I don't like that. I mean, you being short is attractive to be honest. Sasuke blushed only for Karen to put her now green hand over his shoulder. Sheesh, thanks I guess. Naruto blushed. Sasuke then stopped moving as he felt something. Itachi. He muttered. Jiraiya, I have to talk with my brother. If Naruto dies. Sasuke then disappeared from their views, as the tall man walked, his guard was on and the others were ready for battle. With Itachi and Kisame. Yo, finished already, dumbass. Sasuke asked his brother, who grunted. I can see the family resemblance now. Kisame said. HN. Sasuke replied. Biwahahaha. It's funnier than Deidara. Kisame replied as Itachi chuckled. Tell me. Sasuke replied only for Kisame to grin. Your brother and I went with someone to collect a brat to join us. Our third partner said that he'd die young. He said he's an artist or something. Itachi put him in a genjutsu, making him almost blow himself up. It was too close, he almost went from an artist to an exploding bomb. Kisame replied as he chuckled most of the time. Now, Sasuke imagined the whole encounter and laughed his ass off. Then, Itachi shook his head. His brother was better this way. And Itachi. What's wrong with your brain cells? How could you just blindly follow orders like a schmuck? Sasuke asked his brother, who now prepared himself to fight his little brother. Taijutsu battle only, no chakra. Itachi told Sasuke, and they went on their fast-paced fight. Needless to say that Kisame was impressed by one Uchiha Sasuke for keeping up mostly with Itachi. It was a curbstomp fight in everything but name, but Sasuke held his own somehow. Wow kid, you're something else. Kisame whistled as Sasuke panted hard. Itachi however smirked proudly before he gave his brother 2 scrolls and a vial of his own blood. Use the black scroll to summon a crow with my blood and your chakra. That other one have what you need. Now then, keep it a secret. Itachi then flared up his chakra before he shunshined away with Kisame. The team arrived sooner than expected, and when they arrived, they saw Sasuke sitting under a tree, scrapes and bruises on his skin like he fought on a war single-handedly, 2 scrolls and a vial of blood on his feet. He was literally a mute mess. Oi, Sasuke, what happened? Jugo asked, and the Uchiha didn't move a single inch. Come on Sasuke, did you fight them? Karen asked, and he was utterly silent. So, does that mean that you won? Sujitsu's question was ignored. Sasuke-kun, look, what happened? Really, are you alright? Naruto asked the silent Uchiha, who just sealed the 2 scrolls and the blood vial wordlessly before he brooded once again. Oi, don't go back to these brooding days. Naruto scolded angrily as he remained quiet as a grave. Kid, what did happen? Jiraiya asked, and the Uchiha looked at them with empty emotionless eyes before he lowered his head again. They waited for him to say or do anything for an entire hour, and he then sighed dejectedly. Sasuke-kun, if you would not speak, I'm so breaking up with you. Naruto warned, however she will not carry on with her threat. I lost. He replied, and then he was back to his thoughts. Loss is inevitable for people like that. There's always someone stronger, ya know. Like, not even the shinobi no kami nor the Sannin were truly undefeated, ya know. Naruto asked her boyfriend, who sighed sadly. Taijutsu only, he said. I was a fool. He explained as Jiraiya sighed. Look, so what? You are still 13, you still have years to reach your true potential. Naruto replied wisely. How hard did I train in taijutsu? He asked her, and she put her hand on his hair before mussing it. Well, harder than anyone else. But hey, you survived that, no? Come on, let's go find this Tsunade woman. She asked her boyfriend, who sighed dejectedly. Don't worry, you still have me, and that's something no one can do anything to change. Hey, true. He replied before his mind was back. I have to train when we get somewhere else. Carry you? She asked mischievously, only for him to shake his head. I'm good. He replied curtly as he thought how his brother did hold back, and yet, he lost miserably. Oh come on Sasuke-kun, stop that. Naruto replied as he was now totally silent like the old days before their relationship. Stop brooding for once and smile. Naruto added, only for him to remain stoic as a stone. He needed to train in. He didn't finish his thoughts as she put her 2 thumbs into his mouth and pulled upward. He glanced at her and licked her thumbs before he pinched her cheeks. And they walked like that before they both stopped their goofy competition, much to the mirth of the team. Hey, you can be annoying. Sasuke said as he moved his jaw around. And you're an evil bastard. Going for my whiskers, it hurt a lot. She replied as she rubbed her cheeks. She was shocked when he started to rub them with his thumbs, making her massage his jaw. Forgot their sensitivity. He replied curtly as she smiled at him goofily. Stop being so cute. Why? Because you'll submit to your Naruto-chan. Naruto gave him a sly smile as she batted her eyelashes at him. Never. He replied before he palmed his face. What the fuck am I doing? I need to get stronger and instead I'm doing this. Sasuke-kun, before you think about it, there's more to life than just surviving, we just need to pick up the pace in our training, and that's it. But that doesn't mean that we should sometimes. I dunno. Live our lives. Besides, you did some incredible things no one else may have never did before, no? Naruto asked her boyfriend, who thought seriously about her words before he nodded. Good, because this is the third time in my life that I've been outside of the village, and maybe we should spend some fun time together. Fine, don't tie your panties in a knot, Uzuratonkachi-chan. Sasuke replied angrily before she smacked him with her hair. As she huffed indignantly and puffed her cheeks while pouting, he felt some guilt sneak into his heart. Look, I'm sorry about it, but really, I have to improve a lot. Like tremendously, in order to catch up with him, and maybe surpass him. At this she sighed. Sasuke-kun, you're you, that genius who learned the highest level of Kaiden jutsus, the one who have invented many Raiden jutsus on the fly, the one who surpassed his own expectations in 7 months, the shinobi who will definitely surpass all others. At this, Sasuke almost cried. Why did she believe in him this much? Thanks, Naruto-chan. Sasuke muttered as they approached the town Jugo pointed at. It was midday. Okay team, disperse as I try to find Tsunade myself. Jiraiya ordered as he now faced 5 unimpressed looks. How so, Kage Bunshin? Naruto asked. Talking to animals. Jugo asked. Tracking her by smell. Sasuke asked. Sensing her chakra. Karen asked. Or torturing someone. Sujitsu's question made him shake his head. None of the above, just asking people around. At this 5 facepalms were heard. Ero Sennin, give me a damn picture. Naruto had enough. They were wasting some very precious time. So, tell us, where we can find her probably, like most places she would probably be in. Sujitsu's question made Jiraiya sigh as he gave Naruto a picture. He then answered. Bars, gambling dens and casinos. Jiraiya's reply made Naruto smirk evilly as she intoned her first original jutsu that she just mastered. Futon. Kage Bunshin no Jutsu. And she then made the Inu and then cross handseals before. Nothing happened according to Jiraiya, Suigetsu and Jugo. Karen double-checked with her sensory capabilities and was shocked. This jutsu was almost flawless for scouting, gathering information, and even spying. Sasuke however had a proud grin on his face at the sight of the number of clones. Disperse, and look at every casino, bar and gambling den you find. Naruto's order was unknowingly executed. Oi, Gakiet, are you really crazy now? I couldn't hear nor smell anything, nor did I sense it. Jiraiya asked only for Sasuke to laugh madly at his ignorance. Then maybe you should retire as a spy master then. Naruto replied while grinning mischievously. Let's take a walk or something, once I find her, I'll run there. She replied as one by one, her clones dispelled, letting her know that they didn't find her. She noticed that Sasuke stood in front of a blacksmith shop, as he looked at a Chikudo with a nostalgic look before he shook his head and continued walking. She narrowed her eyes before she pulled Jiraiya aside. Oi, Gakiet, what? He didn't get to finish his words before she gave him an open palm motion as she rubbed her fingers, her thumb and index to be precise, together. Fine, here, take this and shut up. Thanks Ero Sennin, guys, I have to go and buy something, wait for me under the tree, please. Naruto asked her teammates who shrugged. Thanks. See you soon. And with that, she darted to the shop she found the Chikudo in, got in, greeted the salesman, who greeted back, and asked him. So, my good sir, how much does that Chikudo cost? She asked him sweetly. For you, young lady or for someone else? He asked kindly. He was a middle-aged, kind-faced, tall-bearded man, he had many muscles. Well, for my boyfriend's birthday, he's an orphan and so I am. I wanted to give him something special, ya know. Naruto replied honestly. She wanted to give him some of his love back. Young love I see. Well, it would cost about 5,000 ryos just for you. Normally I would sell it for 20,000. But seeing that reason, I will give you a discount. The man replied only for Naruto to bow her head in thanks. It's a masterpiece from Tetsu no Kuni. The mastersmith who made this said that it's one very solid, sharp, chakra-conductive blade like almost no other. Arigato gozaimasu. Naruto thanked the man as she gave him the money, unsheathed the sword before she smirked, "Sasuke will love this blade." She sealed it in a small scroll she carried on herself before she went back to her team. Then, a memory hit her. "Guys!" Naruto yelled at the top of her lungs, which made them all rush towards her. "Huh, are you alright?" Sasuke asked his girlfriend in a panicked worry. "Well, I found her." She replied, "Sorry for worrying you." "Oh, that was expected." Suigetsu replied. "So, where is she?" Karen asked as Naruto tried to remember before she told them the location. They all nodded and ran to the casino like there's no tomorrow. Casino Tsunade grumbled in irritation as she found herself have won the jackpot. "Shizune. We're leaving, now," she announced. "I won the jackpot. Something really bad is going to happen." "Tsunade-sama, are you sure about this?" Shizune asked only for the Senju to collect her prize, grabbed Shizune who carried their pet pig Tauntaun, and walked out into an ambush. "Jiraiya. Who are these brats?" Tsunade asked her teammate in shock, "How did you find me?" "Hey Tsunade, actually, they found you." Jiraiya replied, shocking the other Sannin and her apprentice. "How? Are these a team of trackers?" Tsunade asked as Jugo smiled. "Well, not quite." Jugo replied. "Say, how about we travel together?" "Like, where are you heading right now?" Naruto asked as the two women gave her a stare of disbelief. "Hey, you proved me wrong for once, Naruto-chan." Sasuke smirked as he activated his Sharingan. Tsunade's eyes widened at the bloodlust that Sasuke had. It was like staring at a livid T-Rex. You know that he would kill you, but you don't know how your death will be, slow and painful, or quick and painless. As soon as it begun, it was over. "Oi, Gaki, what are you?" Tsunade asked as Sasuke smirked. "Uchiha Sasuke." He replied calmly. "Uzumaki Naruto." The blonde introduced herself. Hozoki Suigetsu. The shark-toothed introduced himself. Jugo. The tallest teen introduced himself. Uzumaki Karen. The red-haired bespectacled girl introduced herself. "We are Kyoryu," they said in perfect synchronization. "Hi, I'm Kato Shizune, nice to meet you." The black-haired woman introduced herself. "This is Tauntaun." The piglet squealed. "Oh, can I carry her?" Suigetsu asked enthusiastically. He loved animals, all animals, I really like animals honestly. "Huh?" Tsunade asked in shock. "How come this psychotic-looking shark-toothed brat have a gentle heart for animals?" "So, Tsunade-san, want to spend some time talking about anything?" Naruto asked the older blonde who shook her head. "Are you here to retrieve me?" She asked only for Jiraiya to nod. "Actually, we came here to retrieve you, the objective is to be the Godime." He started only for Sasuke to add. "Or the head medic that controls the entire medical program. It's entirely up to you and you only. After all, the should-be Godime is with us. And the Gamma Sennin too." Sasuke's reply made everyone shocked by the revelation. Who was the Godime that should have been? As he turned his head towards Naruto and fixed his gaze at her, she was shocked by this revelation. "Me. But why?" she asked and he smirked. "The only thing you lack is age, and a bit of maturity." Sasuke smirked as she was now completely shocked. "Jiraiya Taicho, explain." You see, Naruto-chan, sensei had already made you the Godime before you were even 2 years old, but he decided to train you to become strong enough, and when you were mature enough, he would announce it to the village. You have the pedigree, the ability to become an amazing Hokage, and even the potential. Alas, he died too soon. Jiraiya replied as she laughed before she fainted, prompting Sasuke to catch her effortlessly in his strong arms. "Jiraiya, you just broke her." Tsunade commented. "Look, whatever you do, do not disrespect the Hokages in front of Naruto." Sasuke replied seriously to an unasked question. Her dream was to be the first female Hokage. Her surname is Uzumaki, her hair is blonde, her eyes are blue, who could she be? At this, realization hit Tsunade with the force of a meteor. That girl was Kushina's daughter. Like mother like daughter. Tsunade muttered. She have the same dream. Look, didn't you say that you have somewhere to go? Come on, let's move out. Karen told the older woman. Actually, I can track you down in case you decide to sneak away. Sasuke replied calmly as Tsunade glared at him. This brat is so annoying. What will you do if you will then? She asked as he smirked before his Mangekyo flared into life. I let you guess. He replied too calmly. My mission is to flush out and kill a snake, and retrieving you alive, depends on how much alive you'll be. As she snapped and went to hit him, she was shocked that a four-armed wing-beaked purple giant appeared around him and his teammates. Since Jiraiya was far enough, Tsunade's blood run cold as she couldn't even put a single crack on his defense. Oh, so now you realize it. Sasuke taunted. Look, we can talk this out like civil, mature people, or I can go all out against you, what will it gonna be? I don't care about either. And his giant was now growing up as he and his teammates were now suspended in it. It unfurled its gigantic wings, and then it grew a pair of legs, that was bird-like, and finally, it grew a small reptilian tail. Oi, what the hell is that? Tsunade asked Sasuke, who smirked before he let his Susanoo die. My will. He replied curtly. Oi, what the hell Sasuke? Since when you were able to do something like this? Sujitsu's questions were answered at the instant. I just got it right now. Well, then, training is over for me it seems. Well, at least, for a while. He replied as he thought about Naruto's words, we can have some fun, but when we find and kill that snake, it will be over. That would engender an all-out war. So, thinking 10 steps already, Gaki. Tsunade asked Sasuke, who sighed. Look, if you talk to this blonde angel, maybe she will help you out, she's just too pure and good for me, alas, I can't afford to think about someone else. Sasuke smirked as Tsunade called him an extremely monogamous crazy terrifying yandere of a Gaki. Thanks. Kindest words from you. That wasn't what I meant. Tsunade hissed before she heard Sasuke laugh. Jiraiya was whipping tears from his eyes as they were now walking together towards the next town. So, what's the rank of killing Orochimaru? Shizune asked the Uchiha, who smirked. F rank. He replied seriously. At this, Jiraiya and Tsunade's eyes widened and their jaws dropped. What? He asked as Suigetsu flashed their picture. Oi, give that camera back. Tsunade ordered Suigetsu, who grinned. Nope, this is for Kyoryu eyes only. He replied. Kakashi-sensei is a very good secret keeper. You mean cold-blooded Kakashi? Tsunade's eyes widened. Oi, he trained you. Still training us, and that is the sole reason that he is not the god I'm already. S-rank Jonins are rare, and have yet to reach his ceiling. Karen replied as Suigetsu grinned. She was observant. Kakashi-sensei is an S-rank Jonin. He was offered the position of Hokage but he declined for us. Naruto asked in total shock. This is heavy, you know. Okay, you better walk now, you know. Sasuke replied as she snuggled into him and gave him a big, innocent, shining eyes and a cute pout as her lips trembled. Please, I don't wanna, Sasuke koi. Naruto told her boyfriend pleadingly in her cutest voice and he sighed. Fine fine, Naruto Heimchin. He replied a bit lovingly. The Uchiha Sasuke, who probably is the scariest person since Madara, is totally whipped by his girlfriend. Tsunade asked only for him to shoot her a dirty, Mangekyo-enhanced look. What do you know about me? I will do anything to this unique lovely angel of mine, whether you like it or not. Sasuke replied seriously, angrily and with utter conviction that made Naruto pull a page of her Hyuga friend's book and had now a super blush on her face, which was now red as a tomato. Stop it, you charming, handsome, strong, caring, cold-hearted bastard of mine. Naruto replied as he smirked. Oh, this was hilarious. I would never stop loving you, but remember. Whoever harm you. Sasuke warned as she blushed. You will kill them after killing all of their friends and family and everyone they ever cared about. I know, Yandere-kun. She replied as he smiled at her protectively. Hey, of course. There are some exceptions. Where castration is the right punishment, or mutilation. He pondered as Tsunade was now paler than a ghost. Tsunade-sama. Shizune yelled only for the entire group to stop. Blood. So much blood. Tsunade fell down. Naruto asked Jiraiya, who was now disturbed about his love's hemophobia. Tsunade have a severe case of hemophobia. Jiraiya replied as Suigetsu, and Jugo had a sad look. Naruto looked at Karen, who sighed. She's afraid of blood or anything related to it. Sasuke, you shouldn't have talked about it. Karen chided the Uchiha as he put his girlfriend to palm his face. Jiraiya, what the fuck? Why you didn't even warn us? Sasuke replied as he saw the reason why Tsunade was shaking. At their left, a woman was mauled by something. Jugo. Sasuke told his friend who nodded and made a grave-like hole before the Uchiha, and the Hozoki went with the two Uzumakis. Naruto covered the body in a blanket before the five put her gently in the shallow grave before they buried her. Naruto then put her hand on a tree that made a cross-like branch, before she used her wind manipulation to cut said cross. Jugo rammed the grave marker. Sasuke however had a look of rage as he smelled who did that. She was ambushed by a bunch of bandits. She fought them to save her daughter, but it was a few days ago. Naruto, summon Hina. Kuchio's no jutsu. Naruto immediately did what her boyfriend asked her with no hesitation. Hey Naruto, Sasuke. So, what do you two want? Hina asked as the blonde sighed. Hina, can you smell this grave and track down whoever did so? Naruto asked her cat friend angrily. I can do so. Let me focus. Their trail is pointing over there. Hina replied as Sasuke nodded. Let us there. He ordered as she gave him an asking look. Finest salmon for you if you find them. Naruto added and the ninja cat nodded as she started to run. Jiraiya now carrying Tsunade and the others were just behind the cat. As soon as they were able to find the camp themselves, which was about 10 miles away, Naruto unsealed a pound of salmon, which Hina took gratefully before she disappeared. The plan is simple. One of us is the distraction, the others will rescue any captive, lead them to an ambush. Sasuke told them and they whistled. I'm sensing 2 Chunin-level chakras there, and 10 Genins and a few. Good God, they're barely alive. Karen said darkly as Jugo and Suigetsu decided to kill. I'm going in. Naruto barked as she made a few wind clones. Said clones charged at the bandits without mercy. Apparently, the Uzumaki girl was a fierce beast when this kind of person is involved. 1 minute later, the entire bandit camp was cleared and secured. Let's go in. Naruto said only for Shizune to make a few cage buncheons instead and sent them in. Good lord, these are children. Tsunade whispered in rage. Sasuke, can I kill them? Suigetsu asked the Uchiha who gave him a deadpan look. After they suffer enough. So I want to. Jugo added. Sasuke thought about it. Go ahead, just take them away from us guys. He ordered and they gave him 2 grateful looks. When Jiraiya was about to protest, the Uchiha glared at him. Naruto sighed at the loss of life, but she understood that sometimes, there's no redemption. Let me ask you, would you put down a rabid dog? The Uchiha asked the Toad Sage while his rage was barely held back. As Jiraiya nodded, they're the same only worst. Sasuke-kun, stop being a terrifying avenger. Naruto pleaded her boyfriend who sighed. Then Karen got inside and walked out immediately to puke her guts out. As Sasuke gave her a soda, she washed her mouth before she spat it, then drunk it in one go while thanking her teammate. Naruto gave her a worried look. Naruko-chan, do not get inside no matter what. Karen barked at her cousin who gave her a confused look. It's too fucked up. Shizuna-san is trying to help them, and Tsunade-sama is now completely shocked despite her resolve to help, but it is so. She then started crying her eyes out. I see. So, they need clothes or something? Jiraiya asked and the red-haired nodded. The Toad Sage then shunshined and was back within a few minutes. Here, Shizune, Tsunade, take this scroll and use the provision to help. I also called the authority and told them of the location. Jiraiya announced as the 2 women took care of the captives, who knows what messed up things that happened inside. They decided to consider it never happened. As Jiraiya was called by Tsunade, he got in and decided that Karen was right. He almost puked his guts out, children and women wrapped in clothes too baggy, the very clothes he just bought. Shizune healed them and gave them the food and water Jiraiya just got. They were more slaves than prisoners. Karen warning Naruto who killed 100+ person, and Sasuke still holding her tightly, made him realize that this was something. There were always a monster on this world. Why no one reported this to any village, was beyond him. Then it hit him, no one would have did that for nothing. Well, no one but people like them anyway. He decided that if Tsunade refused to be the Hokage, that there's no choice. Danzo doesn't even know what mercy is. That night Jiraiya, Team Kyoryu, Tsunade and Shizune were on the hotel they found out after a few quick shunshions. Well, it was an inn, but the idea is there. Sasuke watched as Jiraiya got 2 Fuinjutsu books, old and worn down by Father Time. He was amazed how Naruto flipped the pages before she nodded sadly. I have a long way before trying this. I mean, Sasuke-kun told me to work on my calligraphy, and so far so good to be honest. But despite the fact that I can't really read a lot, or rather, my focus is hard, ya know, I know that I can somehow do this, ya know. Naruko replied as Jiraiya sighed. Calligraphy, huh? Oi, you made some amazing progress on that. Sasuke reminded her. Suigetsu and Jugo were now smiling as they avenged the poor people that were enslaved by these fuckers. Sasuke gave them a meaningful look as they shook their heads. He smirked at their unspoken message, these fuckers died slowly and painfully. The two boys then called it a day and slept like two logs. Karen arrived to collect her cousin for a joint bath. Karen, thanks for not letting Naruko-chan get inside. Sasuke whispered gratefully. He then saw that Tsunade and Shizune now getting inside. Look, you can ask them for some lessons, if you want. Sasuke, don't mention it, also, I hope they will accept to give me some pointers. Karen replied as he nodded at her. This was his redemption after what he would do in a now seriously changed future. Naruko and Karen went to take a bath before they would join Tsunade and Shizune. It was the opportunity that Sasuke waited for. By the way, Yaki, you think that Tsunade Haim will be listening to your advices? Jiraiya asked the last loyal Uchiha who shrugged. You can be an amazing advisor, so does Shikamaru's dad. But these three old coots need to go. Ass-kissing self-serving old fucks should never be in that position. I doubt that they would let me and Naruko Haim get any closer. Sasuke replied before he clenched his fist. Danzo leaked her burden, they advised the shinobis to make her weak by sabotaging her, they probably stole every dime her parents had, and I have no doubts they stole my money. Sasuke started to get livid before he stopped. She didn't deserve that. Look, she's not ready for senjutsu nor fuinjutsu. Jiraiya replied, nor politics. I will take care of that. Sasuke replied seriously. Do you have a plan? Jiraiya asked only for Sasuke to shoot him a bloodthirsty grin. Several. One involves Kumogakure and Hazashi's body. The other involves an S-rank diplomatic mission to Hai no Kuni capital. He replied. Before anything, make Danzo squeal, and when he does, take each and every Nei agent, brainwashing, torture, I don't care. Any means necessary. Yes, this was better than killing him by his own hands. So far, killing Zetsu by Nagato was something evil, and yet, he felt a sense of pride. You know, I feel sorry for anyone who might wrong Naruko. Jiraiya replied as Sasuke smirked evilly. You have seen nothing yet. I spared their grandkids because she loves them as young siblings. He replied seriously, and calmer than a windless pound. You need a shrink. Jiraiya concluded. And you need to stop being a goofy pervert, and act like her father. Sasuke emphasized the last word. You love her that much? Jiraiya asked and Sasuke nodded. I'm a Naruko monogamous. Sasuke replied as Jiraiya laughed. You have my blessings. Now, you think that Tsunade Haim will be the Godime? Jiraiya asked as Sasuke sighed. Depending on Naruko-chan now. He replied as he was unaware of the bathroom discussion between the four ladies. Bathroom, you know, being the first female Hokage was my dream. Naruko told Tsunade who sighed. So was your mom's, Kami rest her soul. She replied and Naruko's eyes widened. But yeah, you don't strike me as the political kind of women. I hate politics. Naruko replied sadly. You have every right to do so, it's a very dirty business. Shizune replied as she looked at Naruko's chest. What size are they? I don't know. I don't usually get it. They're just extra fat. Naruko replied as Tsunade's laughter made her raise an eyebrow. What? Your boyfriend will be one lucky man. Tsunade's reply made Naruko blush profusely. What did she mean? He have an amazing taste. You know, as a blonde, I feel that I must talk with him. He's terrifying half of the times, but a really loving boyfriend. From kisses, to foot massage, to carrying. You name it. Karen squealed as she talked about her now blushing cousin. He's a keeper. Better claim him officially. Shizune replied, and he's a cutely handsome man. Oi, I don't care about that, ya know. Besides, he loves me more than he should. She replied sadly, as she could never repay his kindness towards her. Her loyalty, her love, her respect. Her devotion, and yet it never felt enough. He never left her in her darkest days, he was always there. Be careful with his life. I used to love once. I lost my own man in my arms. Tsunade's muttered words made Naruto looking at her sadly. Sasuke-kun saw me dying, and he decided to kill himself to have me again. Like he went back in time just for me. Naruto replied as Tsunade's eyes widened. He needed the help of Kurama, the Kyuubi no Biju, to do such a thing. Why would that hate-filled being do such a thing? Shizune asked only for Naruto to shoot her an angry look. Please, he was the victim. I owe him an apology. Anyways, I saw his emotions toward me, and God, I never felt so much love at once. I just can't believe nor describe it. Naruto started to crying in gratitude for her boyfriend. Naruko-chan, unconditional love does exist, although rarely. Karen replied. But yeah, ask us anything woman-related. There was a beat before. Guy's room, what do you mean woman-related Yano? Poor Suigetsu and Jugo jumped 5 feet from their position with terror and even Jiraiya did jump. Sasuke just laughed his ass off at that. Thanks for listening. I hope you guys liked it. Don't forget to subscribe and leave a like for more what ifs and support the author. See you guys in the next video.